Welcome to TRADEREP. This is Shorthammer. It is the 7th of August, 2019, and we are looking at Amazon. Now, Amazon has just been selling, just insane selling. We've kind of found a little bit of a bottom, you can call it, if you look at the daily chart, where we have a few higher lows in essence. And we know that this isn't showing, this is TOS. So it's not showing the after hours movements, and we've had a pierce all the way down here to almost touching this trend line here. And this trend line is really the top of a channel that goes back to 2016. If you want to take a peek at this, all the way back here, this was a channel that we were in for quite some time. So we see the bouncing inside this channel, and when we got above it, sort of use it as a springboard. And each time we pull back, this area has been relevant to the demand side as far as buyers stepping in the market and pushing us back above it. Even when we pierced into the channel, buyers stepped in and pushed us back above. So the last pullback, we tapped this in the 1670s. Buyers stepped in a big way. This time we haven't quite touched it on the daily chart yet. And so this level that we're looking for on the daily, which would be the intraday, I would say, the cash session, is down here around 1750 on the daily, and we've already been through that. Post hours, I'll say, or aftermarket hours, we've been through this. So we'll see how this shapes up as far as intraday. But so far we are back above this 1747 by 1762 supply demand zone, and we need to get buyers to push us up here to at least retest the 1820s area on Amazon. And this is going to take a lot of help from the overall market, because right now Amazon has no true catalyst of its own. It's basically moving with the market. The volatility in the market right now, and all the news and the catalysts that are coming in, whether it's China trade, whether it's interest rates, all these different things that are churning the markets. And not just interest rates as far as the United States is concerned, but interest rates globally. Interest rates are being slashed globally, and this is really having a huge effect on the U.S. market. And so what we're watching now is just the market being ping-ponged around by just very, very, very massive forces. So what we want to see on Amazon, let me go to the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart, what we want to see is a break of this 1805 and a squeeze into the 1818 by 1823s. And if we're wondering why we're sort of hanging in this area, is that we have demand down here in the 1762s spot to 1747 area. And we've seen that every time we've pushed down here, the buyers have stepped in, pushed us right back above it. Down, buyers have stepped in. Oh, we're going to break out. Supply, back down, buyers have stepped in. So what we're seeing is a slightly higher push. On each push down, the buyback up is a little bit higher. Each push down, a little bit shallower, buyback up a little bit higher. So we need to pop these 1805s and really get a squeeze to the upside here. And not sure if there'll be any type of continuation in that, but that's what I'm watching for, the break of the 1805 area. And if we look back, it's been an area where there's been a halt, I would say, on either sells or pops. Right in this 1805, 1806, 1804, we can see it going all the way across here. This area is a small area of contention, where we're seeing pullbacks and bounces. So what we want to watch for is a bounce. The last time that we pushed up, the buying was so intense that we tapped. We kind of touched the where is it, right here, 1806 area, pull back a little bit, then we legged right through it. This time we're not legging through it, not yet, because there are other market forces at work here that are suppressing the ability of Amazon to bounce. So let's go down to the lower time frame. This is our 5-minute chart. So if we watch yesterday's open, We opened and we sank, found support in the 1750s, and the buyers drove us back through the 200 SMA on the 5-minute and through the main intraday pivot here at 1778, and we pushed up at 1786 and back down. Buyer stepped in again when we pushed down into the supply demand zone, pushed us back up, this time a little bit higher, 1790s. We dropped, and this time we found support above the VWAP. Buyer stepped in again, just trying to leg us here again, just trying to leg us, and again a nice little squeeze at the close. Buyers trying to leg us through all this supply that we have here, and the overall market trying to squeeze. But we just need to get through this area. Where are we here? This is 1805-ish. We need to get through that area. So that's what we're going to be watching for, is can we get through that area? And you can look back and see all these levels, 1790s, they just keep holding up. They just keep being areas of supply, and you see the area that continue to be demand areas. If we happen to, during the cash hour, break this 1747, I would not be surprised if we really sell hard down into the below 1722s into the 1600s. So I'm really watching and hoping that we do break to the upside here and push up into the above this 1805 and leg into the 1818s, 1823s. So what I'll be watching for tomorrow on Amazon, and I'm really using Amazon and the SPY and Microsoft to trade off each other. I'm sort of closer to the SPY right now and trading Microsoft right now than I am to trading Amazon, because the market is so volatile. I'm really careful in what I'm getting into, and so I'll be watching this for a pullback potentially to 1783 if we don't jam up here and push through the 1805s, or bouncing to 1792s. We'll have to see what happens when the pre-market begins. But I'm going to be watching Amazon at these levels, the 1792 by 1805 first. Then if we drop down this 1783, the main intraday pivot for today. And then if we drop below that, I'm going to be seeing if buyers step in anywhere through this fall at the 1774s, at the 1772s, or if we end up down here in the 1762s again. And if we do happen to get below these 1755, 56-ish area, 54-ish area, I'm going to be closely watching this 1747 for capitulation to the downside. Right now, you can't have a bias up or down. You just have to wait for the cash session and see where we are, because what we've seen is a lot of movement post and pre-market that's erased by the time the market opens. So just being careful, stay nimble, trade a lot lighter than you usually do to give the market a little bit of flexibility and a little bit of room to move around a bit. But keep your stops tight, and don't be afraid to exit and reposition if you see something going against you and you're not quite sure if it's going to continue to roll.